He's never fought us. Not us united.
My favorite moment in the entire... Maybe I should complicate this before I start speaking here.
Hello, Comics Leaguers. Welcome to Indie Wednesday. I'm Jared, and today we are discussing Darkland Issue 1 from Scout Comics. Now, this was a series that I picked up when I was last on my LCS because I was like, okay, that was interesting, because I typically do when I pick up single issues at my store, I'll just like go through, that looks interesting, that looks interesting, that looks interesting for indie work. But for like Marvel DC, I have a couple of series I follow pretty closely. But so this was one of the ones I picked up because it looked interesting, and I'm a big fan of like post-apocalyptic storylines, and this is definitely post-apocalyptic. So this is done or written by Nicholas Black with art by Serg Acuna, and the art is really good on this, like really good. So let's get started. So we open up. There's this by spoiler alert, but this book is like a couple of weeks old, so I think the statute of limitations passed her. So this prison inmate is being interviewed by this board. She has no arm, and she's pretty much like that. There you go. And she's basically offered the opportunity to essentially become a what's called a domestic marshal. Basically, she's a bounty hunter. They send her out to retrieve people and bring them back to essentially the council. So what happens is she's assigned to bring in this girl. Then we cut to the girl, and she's playing Magic the Gathering with a cat. She's hiding out in like a mall. Then she hears a noise. She goes to investigate and finds this dude had like triggered a trap or like fallen and gotten rebar in his leg. Then a hard cuts back to the marshal, and she just got dropped off, and she's dropped off by like a robot that looks like it's out of Fallout. So I'm like, okay, this is actually really cool. And then she's given her gear, which contains like a pistol, a lighter and everything, and like a robotic arm. So she has a synthetic arm. And then she then hops aboard a train, and as she's on the train, she meets this boy that's basically like a courier, because it's a courier. And then we hard cut back to the mall, where the dude that triggered the trap and now has a piece of rebar sticking out of his leg is attacked by this crab creature. I'm gonna call him Krabby. And the girl shows up and saves this dude from Krabby, and then she decides, okay, I'll help you out. She essentially takes the rebar out, like really fast, but it turns out he bleeds out. So then it hard cuts. There's a lot of hard cuts in this book, but I like it because it's like watching a show. It hard cuts to this hooded figure walking into like this dilapidated house, and we find this girl who is this woman who's covered in tats. And it turns out they're like associates of the little girl. Her name is Rose, by the way, and it's implied that they had some prior like relation to her, like maybe these are her parents or something like that, but that's just what I'm gonna go with. And then we hard cut back to the train, where it's attacked by bandits, because this is basically a post-apocalyptic, futuristic Wild West, which is why this is so cool. I like how they blend the concepts together. So the marshal just completely kills the dudes the people that are attacking the train. Like she, with her robotic hand, she like pushes the dude's head, like flattens it. Just so cool. And then, and by the way, through this again, the art is like really good, and then again we cut to the tattooed girl who's looking at a picture of like, assuming by implication, her like family or like a former like survivor group, and then we see her, but on her back, like it's her kid, is Rose, the little girl. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there. So that's issue 1. This is a newer series, so that's why I only have issue 1. And I need to say first off, this is really good. Like the action's great, the art is really really good, and it captures like the like feeling of a post-apocalyptic Wild West. And speaking of that, they definitely build that world really well with like inside the first like 5 pages where we have the marshal being interviewed, and the marshal's name is essentially is Audrey. So in Audrey's trial, you see like they establish like how she's seen as like subhuman because she's missing a leg, and it's an arm, and it's like it's really cool how they like build this world about like about the apocalypse and about how society works now in this world. So it's really 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 cool how I think this book excels really well at world building, and the art is really cool. It's not too cartoony, but it's also not too serious, which actually contrasts really well with the source material, because it's very like it's a dark book, but the cartoony nature of the art, sort of the semi-cartoony nature of the art, I think really adds to that. It sort of provides like an interesting contrast in terms of the themes. So that's my review of issue 1. I like it. I give it a solid, I'd say 8 out of 10 so far. I have to get 8 or 9 out of 10, one of those two. I have to see more of the series before I can like make a bigger like I have to see more of the series before I can like adjust my rating just so I can see how the story is going. But so far it's very stellar. I like it. The art's great, and I hope to follow the series more and do more reviews of this if that's what you guys would like. So anyway, that's Darkland. And then to give you guys an update on future indie comics books, I am going to do Sidekicked. I know that's been like recommended a lot in my comments, so I am going to do that probably sometime in February is when I plan on doing that. And I plan on covering more like Witchblade and Spawn. Those are a few of the books I'm considering for next week's Indie Wednesday. So, and also, by the way, drop in the comments again what books you guys want to see, and they will show up on the show. So like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment on what you think of Darkland if you read it or if you're planning on reading it, and what other books you want to see featured on Indie Wednesday. Anyway, guys, stay heroic, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.